The maritime might of a nation decides its place in the discourse on global geoeconomics. Its foreign policy is the sum total of its strengths as an economic power and its capability to be the net guarantor of regional and global security, which includes maritime security. India is a major maritime nation with vital economic and security interests linked to the seas. It is no surprise that the world's seventh largest country by land area has a vast and diverse maritime territory. The country's blue economy plays a vital role in its economic growth and development. India's large coastline of 7,516 kilometers includes bustling port cities along the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. It also includes the idyllic beaches of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Keeping all these regions safe is the Indian Coast Guard that has saved over 11,000 lives at sea, seized over 12,000 crore rupees of drugs and contraband, apprehended more than 13,000 crew and over 1,500 boats involved in illegal activities. Indian Coast Guard is the fourth largest in the world. It has played a significant role in securing the Indian coast and enforcing regulations in the maritime zones of India. Get ready to experience the exhilarating journey of the saviors or sentinels of sea, the Indian Coast Guard. Ready, relevant and responsive. Hello and welcome viewers. You're watching our special series on national security and Indian Coast Guard. The Indian Coast Guard contributes towards development and implementation of an effective security mechanism to combat seaborne threats in our country. The security matrix of the ICG combines a host of operations and measures to address coastal security, offshore security, anti-terrorism, anti-piracy and port security. The ICG also supports the Indian Navy in securing the maritime borders of our country. So come along with me on the spectacular journey of the ICG. After the Mumbai attacks in 2008, there was a paradigm shift in India's maritime security apparatus. There was increased emphasis on surveillance, intelligence gathering and information sharing amongst the various stakeholders to ensure an effective response to any emerging situation. In February 2009, the Indian Coast Guard was additionally designated as the authority responsible for coastal security in territorial waters. Also widened and increased were the areas to be patrolled by the coastal police. The Coast Guard is responsible for the overall coordination between the central and state agencies in matters relating to coastal security. The Indian Coast Guard is a multi-mission organization. It conducts round the year real-life operations at sea. Despite being relatively small, it has a wide range of task capabilities for both surface and air operations. As a coastal security force, the Indian Coast Guard governs India's territorial waters and its contiguous and exclusive economic zones that extend up to 200 nautical miles from the maritime baseline of the country. Responsibility of the Indian Coast Guard were in line with the issues that were perceived to be relevant when it was formed in 1978. Its principal task was to protect the national interests of India in the maritime zones of India. Since then, various concerns have mushroomed in the last 4 decades. Maritime terrorism and illegal arms trafficking are just 2 of the more prominent ones. Indian coasts are also vulnerable to the illegal inflow of both migrants and refugees. Many fishing boats venture into the sea each day, posing a security threat. Quite a few of these fishing boats are apprehended by interests inimical to India and used for smuggling in arms and infiltrators. The Indian Coast Guard has a lean strength of 159 ships, 76 aircraft and about 15,000 personnel. Compared to the area it patrols, it shoulders a huge responsibility to maintain maritime law and order over a region that is about 1.5 times the country's land mass. In addition, the frequency of natural disasters like cyclones and floods has increased in recent years. The Indian Coast Guard is deploying 40 to 50 ships and about 10 to 12 aircraft every day on an average to optimally discharge its obligation of ensuring safe and secure seas and preserving our national interests in the maritime zone.
यह गर्व की बात है कि कोस्ट गार्ड देश में निर्मित अपने सभी 126 शिप्स और 62 एयरक्राफ्ट्स के साथ विश्व के 4 सबसे बड़े कोस्ट गार्ड के बीच अपना स्थान बनाए हुए है। कोस्ट गार्ड का मंत्र है वयम रक्षाम। अपने इस आदर्श वाक्य को चरितार्थ करते हुए देश की समुद्री सीमाओं और समुद्री परिवेश को सुरक्षित करने के लिए कोस्ट गार्ड के जवान प्रतिकूल परिस्थितियों में भी दिन रात तत्पर रहते हैं।
Over the years, the ICG has grown into a formidable force and is likely to achieve its targeted force levels of 200 surface platforms and 80 aircraft by 2025. But do you know the humble beginnings were made with just 7 surface platforms in 1978. The Indian Navy proposed a Coast Guard force in the 1960s when the seaborne smuggling of goods started increasingly threatening the Indian economy. The Nag Chaudhary Committee was constituted with participation from the Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force to study the problem. In August 1971, the committee identified the need to patrol India's vast coastline. By 1973, India started a program to acquire the equipment and started deputing personnel from the Indian Navy for these anti-smuggling and law enforcement tasks. In 1972, the United Nations Convention on the Laws of the Sea awarded exclusive economic zones to all coastal states. Thereafter, the Union of India enacted the Maritime Zones of India Act of 1976 to claim sovereign rights over the vast sea area of the exclusive economic zone. In one stroke, India acquired 2.01 million square kilometers of the ocean and the right to extensively explore and use all living and non-living resources. All this meant that the vast area now needed to be policed. The discovery of oil in Mumbai, then Bombay High, and the consequent development of high-value offshore installations also mandated measures for protection and disaster response in extremely vital area of India's industrial and economic interests. In 1977, the Union Cabinet approved setting up a Coast Guard with 2 frigates and 5 patrol boats transferred from the Indian Navy. The duties and functions of the service were formally defined in the Coast Guard Act that was passed by India's Parliament on 18th of August 1978 and came into immediate effect. The Indian Coast Guard was formally inaugurated by then Prime Minister Morarji Desai on 19th of August 1978.
आप लोगों की इसी एनर्जी, इंथुजियाज्म और मोरल की बदौलत 4 से लेकर 6 बोट्स के साथ शुरू हुआ इंडियन कोस्ट गार्ड आज 150 से ज़्यादा शिप और 66 एयरक्राफ्ट के साथ दुनिया के बेहतरीन मैरीटाइम फोर्सेज में एक अपना महत्वपूर्ण स्थान बना चुका है।
Life aboard a Coast Guard ship is engaging, adventurous and challenging. From saving human lives at sea and assisting fishermen in peril, to apprehending poachers and preserving marine biodiversity, the Indian Coast Guard has its hands full. Job satisfaction is guaranteed, with each day at sea filled with promise and each mission different in an unimitable way. On board every Coast Guard ship, a balanced mix of officers and enrolled personnel belonging to different branches are divided in groups, with each group working at respective stations. In addition, during emergency situations, it is all hands on the deck for the personnel, irrespective of the time, be it day or night. A boat is sometimes launched from the ship to check another vessel at sea or to provide technical or medical assistance. If needed to pursue fleeing offenders, the boat can even land ashore and engage culprits, sometimes with the use of force. Under Sagar security and growth for all in the region and neighborhood first policy, the ICG has nurtured professional relationships across oceans and established ties with countries in the Indian Ocean region. India's commitment to implementing international regulations, enacting legislations for maritime safety and security, establishing cooperative mechanism with nations and engaging in capacity building of maritime law enforcement agencies is well known. The Indian Coast Guard has successfully averted major ecological disasters and emerged as the first responder in the region by undertaking major firefighting and pollution response operation off the Sri Lankan coast, the most recent being Sagar Araksha 2nd. The Indian Coast Guard also conducted National Maritime Search and Rescue Board meeting to harmonize the maritime and civil aviation search and rescue mechanism. It is working in close coordination with central and state agencies to put in place a robust coastal security mechanism. The Indian Coast Guard's reach was demonstrated during the flag hoisting on 100 inhabited and uninhabited far-flung islands as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav on August 15, 2021. Indian Coast Guard fleet has steadily grown over the years. It has plans to achieve a fleet strength of 200 ships. Given the Herculean task of securing nearly 7,500 kilometers of coastline, the scope of its operations is so vast that Coast Guards often go beyond the call of duty in embracing tremendous challenges as the frontier force. India's thrust on building a credible marine economy is gearing up amid the rising maritime security challenges. The Indian Coast Guard has been a pioneer in including indigenous assets that has enabled it to remain operationally active and responsive throughout the year. In fact, despite the COVID-19 pandemic, it has added 5 new generation ships and 8 advanced light helicopters to its fleet in last 1 year, which are fine examples of Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India envisioned by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In pursuance of the government's vision for digital transformation in defence, Digital Coast Guard project has been approved by the Defence Acquisition Council. Under this project, a pan-India secure network for digitizing of various surface and aviation operations, logistics, finance and HR processes in Coast Guard will be established. India's coastline is spread across 9 coastal states, 12 major and 200 minor ports. India's blue economy supports 95% of country's business through transportation and contributes an estimated 4% to its gross domestic product. India is looking to expand its presence in the shipping industry and increase its capacity as a hub for ship repair and maintenance that can come with various economic and geopolitical benefits. The blue economy can support the growth of these sectors that have potential to contribute to country's food security, improve the health of the ocean ecosystem.
I want to invite the world to come to India and be a part of our growth trajectory. India is very sincere about growing in the maritime sector and emerging as a leading blue economy of the world. Our leading focus area includes upgrade current infrastructure, create next generation infrastructure, boost the reform journey. Through these steps, we aim to give strength to our vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Indian Coast Guard has a key role in strengthening India's blue economy. It remains a strongly vigilant force that continues to upgrade its capabilities and capacities in an urgent manner. With upgraded technologies, a broader scope and vision, and expanded duties, the Indian Coast Guard is a force to reckon with and remains at the helm of the maritime security affairs of the nation. A strong and capable Coast Guard provides for a safe and secure coastline and effectively a safe and secure India.
Well, viewers, that's all we had for you in this edition. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to Sansad TV. Goodbye for now from my side.